Our conversation this morning with Gina Force brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And here on Indiana in the Morning, we are very happy to talk with Gina. Gina, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. How are you doing?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us here in the studio, in our remote studio location this morning, to talk about an announcement you made yesterday that you are going to run for the Indiana County Common Pleas Court judge position that will become vacant next year. Congratulations.
Thank you, Todd. I'm very excited to be here this morning.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your experiences, because you've been with the district attorney's office for quite some time, haven't you?
That's correct.
Yeah, you started in, 2016?
That's correct. I actually grew up in Rochester Mills and graduated from the Marion Center Area High School. And for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be an attorney, specifically a prosecutor, with aspirations of someday becoming a judge. And with this mindset, I went to Pennsylvania State University for my undergraduate degree, and I graduated with high distinction there due to my academic success in a major in crime law and justice. From there, I went to Syracuse University College of Law in New York, and I graduated cum laude. And while there, I interned for a local firm, and I moved back here after I graduated, and I opened my private practice in 2016. And shortly after opening my practice, I began to work for the district attorney's office, and I was promoted to first assistant in 2019. And in the district attorney's office, I've had a really unique role in completing all of the legal research and writing obligations for our office, which has given me the opportunity to work both on a local and appellate level. And I've done a lot of extensive work in the Superior Court. And that is a role that I very proudly have served in, and it's garnered me a lot of courtroom experience, and it's allowed for me to work with local law enforcement agents. And I've also worked as a parent advocate for children and youth services over the last couple of years that has allowed for me to work with families within Indiana County who are facing very serious issues such as poverty, mental health issues, or substance abuse. And in my private practice, together with the positions that I've held, I'm on average in court 2 to 3 days a week. So I do feel that I have a lot of well-rounded experience that makes me the best candidate to run for judge.
Well, it's really interesting to me to look at your background. Back when you were still a student, you actually clerked in England on a summer program and saw the way the legal system works there. And that's sort of foundational stuff, and things of that nature mean that you really do immerse yourself in this, don't you?
Absolutely. And as I said, the district attorney's office has been something that has been really important to me. And I've always been pro-law enforcement, and it's given me the opportunity to have so much experience that I believe any potential candidates won't have. And one of the primary functions that I've served is the legal research and writing, which has always been a passion of mine and something that I've excelled in. And I think as a judge, that is one of the most important, if not the most important functions that a judge serves, to read the law, interpret the law, and apply it in a fair and balanced manner. And through my job in the district attorney's office and my private practice, I believe that I've done that throughout my entire legal career, and that's something that I would pledge to do if elected to this position. It's
a very, very detailed job that you have. In reading some of the opinions that have been handed down from Superior Court in cases in which you've been involved, the Price case was a recent case in which you were involved, and some others. Watching the way the justices break things down, it's not a coincidence that they look into this or they look into that aspect of a case. That has to be presented to them by you, does it not?
Absolutely. So when you file an appeal to the Superior Court, you have to present what your issue is and make sure that you're including all of the legal precedent that supports your case. I've really enjoyed doing that, and particularly with the cases that you've mentioned, to know that what I'm writing about impacts people on such a deep and significant level really fuels me in knowing that even though the job is labor intensive and a lot of work goes into it, it's absolutely worth it at the end of the day.
When you get into the actual performance of the duties in the district attorney's office, we see the trials, we see the big news items, but that detail work, that behind the scenes work, there is an awful lot that goes into building a case, isn't there?
Absolutely. And I think if you talk to any of the assistant district attorneys and the current district attorney and former district attorneys, it is such an important role. And there's a lot of mental preparation that goes into it, together with preparing witnesses, making sure that you're asking the right questions in the right manner to present the absolute best case to the jury. And you're held to certain standards as an attorney in the district attorney's office. And it's important that you always put those ethical considerations first. But at the end of the day, it's the best feeling whenever you can get a conviction on behalf of a victim or family members that have lived the experience that you are now fighting for.
Are there mentors or people in your past under whom you've studied or who you have admired that have sort of guided you along the way?
Absolutely. I would say when I was in law school and afterwards, a mentor that's been really important to me was Jonathan Mack. He actually is serving as my campaign chair in this campaign, and he's always been willing to sit down and give me advice and tell me what he truly thinks to best guide me in the decisions that I've made in my legal career. And since becoming an attorney, those decisions and the choices that I've made in my practice have always been with the idea that I want to be judged someday. So everything I've done up until this point, I believe, has allowed for me to gain the experience and just the values that I need to be the best judge that Indiana County can have.
We're talking with Gina Force, who has announced her candidacy to become a court or a judge in the Indiana County Court of Common Pleas. Gina, when we think about the way that the process will work, my understanding is the governor will appoint a judge to fill that seat until next November's election. Is that correct?
That's correct. And what we often see is there's senior judges that will come from other counties, and maybe even President Judge Martin here in this county that will fill in up until the election and the new judge is elected and begins in 2021.
Okay. Just that process, of course, is a mystery to some. But as you think about this, and as you and I have talked about, and we were talking a couple of moments ago about the amount of work that goes into it. It's more than just work that goes into a case. You have known detectives on cases, others who have worked on cases, other attorneys, that it really becomes an emotional thing for them. You have to really pour your heart into a case, and sometimes those results aren't what you anticipated or what you worked for. It takes a toll, does it not?
It does, and I will say, though, when you're thinking about a judge and how they are in the legal justice system, that role itself is a party-neutral position. And to be a judge and to fulfill the legal obligations and do your job in the best way possible, you can't let your personal beliefs or your political preferences or different experiences that you've had in your life affect how you look at a case. And your overall job is just to read the law, apply the law to the facts in front of you in a fair and unbiased manner. And I really think that I am suited to do this job, given the experience that I've had and the character and temperament that I present.
You talked earlier about wanting to do this since you were a kid, really preparing yourself to one day be a judge. So what instilled that in you?
Well, as I said, I always wanted to be an attorney. And for me, legal research and writing is a huge passion of mine, and it's something that I've excelled in. And I think to be able to have those skills, I would be able to do a fantastic job in applying those skills as a judge. And ultimately, the experiences that I've had in the district attorney's office and as an advocate for parents with children and youth cases, I think that I have a really good understanding of some of the very serious issues that exist within Indiana County, including mental health, including substance abuse or poverty. And I think I would be able to help the community overall in parents and families and the different people that would come before me.
The actual position, the elected position, the way that a judgeship works in the Court of Common Pleas, that election process is for a longer term than we're used to in legislative races, for example, and then there are retention elections after that. That initial foray into the elective process is something that you haven't been through before as a candidate yourself, and so you must prepare yourself for that. How's that been? That process been unfolding for you?
That is correct. This decision is not one that I've made lightly. I've definitely talked to anyone that could offer me any advice or any true guidance on what this election is going to look like. And there are certainly considerations that we've taken into account, especially COVID-19 and how that's going to affect the landscape in campaigning. And these are conversations that we've had, and I think we've come up with some really unique ideas on how we can safely reach voters and get my message out to them. And it will be a conversation that we continue to have over the life of the campaign as we assess what is going on with the pandemic and as we apply the guidelines and really meet the residents of Indiana County on their terms. But I will be out there. I will be available to answer any questions that voters may have. And I'm really excited just to get started with my campaign and move forward and just earn the vote of the voters here in Indiana County from now until the primary.
She is Gina Force. She is running for judge of the Indiana County Court of Common Pleas. Where can people learn more about your candidacy?
Yes, for anyone that wants to get involved or learn more about our campaign, we have actually established a website, www.ginaforceforjudge.com, and we'll soon be going live on Facebook. You can also contact us by email at ginaforceforjudge@gmail.com. And for anyone that wants to know more or for anyone that would like to get involved in the campaign, I'd love to personally speak with you and talk to you about why I believe I am the best candidate and how we think you can participate to make that happen.
She is Gina Force. Thank you so much for coming in to visit with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you for having me.
Have a great day today.
Thanks. You as well.
Today.
Thanks. You as well.